dog died, they blew out his brains all on the window, feel like window pane. Had to suck it up and told it to the game. Glizzy on my hip, I'm standing on my name.
That I was gonna tell y'all about, like I say, my stepbrother. I mean, not my stepbrother. Brother-in-law, well, yeah, that is stepbrother, you hear me? Cause, this was my mama husband's son, you dig? So, this story, it spanned, you know, because it started from when I was in middle school. It started from when I was in 8th grade, when I was going to Marshall, you heard me? But it spans over time, you dig? So when I was going to Marshall, I wasn't really like thugging then, you dig? I was selling weed and stealing out stores and shit like that, like, you heard me? Like it's really like when I really first started selling weed and shit like that, you dig? Like I was selling nickel bags and shit like that when I was in the 7th grade or whatnot. And by the time I had got to 8th grade, I had kind of upgraded because of the let me go ahead there. Let me enlighten y'all. So when I was in the 8th grade, and I was running with a couple of niggas, you dig? Around Marshall, if anybody's familiar with the area, y'all know that they got the Italian pie that's on what is that street name? Shit, I don't know what that street name is, but they got the Italian pie around the area, and not too far from there, they had the record place, CD Warehouse, I think it was. I think it was CD Warehouse. Like, that's the only name I can remember. I think that was CD Warehouse. So what we would do, we would go in there and we would we'll take pre-orders, you dig, or we'll take the hot shit that we know hot, and we take the CDs out the little plastic little shit, out the little wrapper that's gonna make it go off, make the detectors go off. We take it all out there and we go back to school and we sell it, you dig, for like half the price, or probably about 3/4 of the price, you hear me? But we giving y'all a break, you dig? But it's the real CD, got the book and everything, you hear me? And like I say, we'll do pre-orders and everything else. So it has started being lucrative, you hear me? Like, I know people are like, selling CDs, nigga, that's so petty. But see, man, listen, in middle school days, see, dog, that shit was becoming lucrative, you hear me? You got to think, a nigga getting an order about 10 CDs at sometimes, you hear me? And we getting orders either every day or every other day. So you dig, by the week we're being cleared close to $100, you hear me? And but that shit started being dangerous at the same time, you hear me? Like, the method was crazy, you dig? I remember one time we in that bitch, and this nigga Peter was funny as hell, bro. And cause like we was a team with the shit, so we, like, somebody gotta watch the bus, somebody gotta make sure the other people don't walk up on us, somebody gotta make sure, like, people distract, all kind of shit. Cause when you do it, man, this shit make a lot of noise. I'm talking about when you cut this plastic, it's like clack, 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 and you hear this shit all out throughout the store like some motherfucker gotta be like, what the fuck going on? But you did, like, we did this shit. I'm talking about we did this shit successfully for about a good 2 months, you hear me? Until it was finally, y'all stay out this store, you hear me? We finally got kicked out the store, but they didn't call the police, so it was like, thank God, you hear me? So before I actually started really selling weed, I remember nigga was selling like seasoning, like parsley, oregano, and something else. We had mixed it all together, and we'll sell that shit. And I'm talking about, like, we really was selling game, cause nigga, like, you hear me? Man, this weed, you gonna get high and all this shit. Cause you gotta realize that these are children, and the children that we were selling it to, we knew that they was wannabes, you dig? They just want to be cool. They want to seem like they smoking weed, so we telling them this weed. You hear me? And they dumbass really didn't know no better, so they'll buy this shit. You dig? But eventually, I started really selling weed. You hear me? And by this time, I had to move from out the 7th Ward and we moved across the river. You dig? So this when I first moved across the river. And like I said, my mama had got married to this dude, and I got introduced to his son. And at this time, I had to ran into this dude. He was like my first plug with the weed and shit. He was my first plug, you hear me? And this nigga here had fucking pounds. I'm talking about pounds of weed, you hear me? And my nigga Jonathan, the one that introduced me to the dude. We used to call him Big Rims. There's a nigga named Cleto, but we used to call him Big Rims, you heard me? Cause he had this kind of car that was, it was I know it was like an Oldsmobile, but it was a little small like Oldsmobile, full door, and he had the big ass rims on that bitch. You heard me? The dude was really from out, I think like Thibodeau or some shit. You heard me? Yeah, I believe he was from out Thibodeau or Raceland or something like that. But he had them pounds, and back then when it was registered. You heard me? So man, look, I had them got it popping. You dig? And so my mama husband's son, he was from out the east and shit. And so, we hook up or whatever like that, and I'm doing my thing at this point. And when I first met him, this nigga was just a good boy basketball playing nigga, you hear me? And no shade, you dig? Cause like I say, knowing what I know now, that's what he should have been, you hear me? He was doing right, I was doing wrong, you feel me? So he was a good basketball playing nigga. The nigga played for Mac Main, you hear me? And you dig? He we talk and shit. So he found out I was selling weed and I had weed or whatever like that. So it started off we'll just be smoking together and shit like that. Sneaking out the house smoking and shit like that. You hear me? And it gradually went to he wanted to sell the weed too. So you dig? I'll hook him up. Hold on. It gradually went from smoking together till he wanted to sell weed. So I'll be giving him a little weed or whatever like that. He'll be selling it. He come back, give me my money, whatever. But I was younger than him. You heard me? He was in high school. I was in middle school. He was like a sophomore when I was still in 8th grade. You dig? And so I was making some good bread. You heard me? I'm talking about making some good bread. Cause at the same time, I had been hooked up with a cousin from Atlanta. This dude was my cousin named Ashton, you heard me? And he had put me down with the credit card shit, you heard me, with the cards. And so I make about $200 to $400 a night with doing that with him. Like he had this thing, we had the cards, and you go to the ATM, and you it's like you could get $200 out a night with with each card, you heard me? So he gave me 2 cards, and so like I said, I was getting $200 to $400 a night off that, and I was getting the weed money. So I had them stacked up and got me a Honda Accord, you heard me? First car I ever had was the Honda Accord. But like I said, I'm in the 8th grade, so my mama can't know about this or whatever. So this is where StepBrother come in play. You gotta see this car yours, you heard me? And you gotta drive it and all that type of shit like that, you dig? So that was the arrangement, you heard me? So it started coming where I had to catch the bus from school. I catch the bus from Marshall, go uptown, catch the canal bus, catch the Ferret, go uptown away from my mama to come get me from out the 13th. So I was like, you know what, man, fuck this, I got a call. Even though I should have stuck to the routine, don't make nothing different. But when you young, you don't think like this. So I'm like, shit, I got a call. So nigga, you come and get me from school now. And so he started coming and get me from school. And so one day He come and pick me up, and they had this chick, dog, Farron. This man, Farron, and she had a cousin. Her cousin name was Mia, Maya, or Tia, some shit like that. What's that? Her name was Mia. I think her name was Mia. I can't remember. She had these big eyes. She was fine too. Like when I say they were fine, I'm talking about like these, like like I said, don't forget. I'm in 8th grade now. We in middle school, so like these chicks here like high school, college girl fine. You hear me? Like I'm talking about all the niggas wanted her in school. You dig? And so this day that he come get me from school, he in the car and all that shit, even though this is my car, you hear me? So when I'm walking out of school, he done call Farron coming out, so he hollering at her, whatever like that. She bite, you dig? And so I'm like, motherfucker, you hear me? Like I'm mad on some shit, you dig? Like I said, you gotta understand, I'm young, so my feelings is different at these points in time. So I'm mad, like, bitch ass nigga, you got this motherfucker who I've been wanting in my car, you dig? So, he rubbing it in my face and all that, like, you little young punk, you couldn't get her and all this shit like that. And, so I ain't play on him. Like, even though I was young, I still had that real nigga, mentality. Like, I ain't gonna play on you, I ain't gonna expose you. I'm gonna let you have that, you hear me? You got that, you dig? So, you dig? He ended up hitting her. So, we end up going to this, it was like a fair at the Superdome, you hear me? And so, I ended up going with her cousin, so it was like, it's cool, you dig? Because everybody was after her cousin too, but you dig? That's still like second place, you hear me? But I had got her cousin or whatever. And, she had, like, this what had started this shit. Cause she had called herself playing on me that night, you hear me? Like, in my mind, in real life, nigga, I'm the big dog, you hear me? And you the little pup, nigga, you hear me? But it's looking like he the big dog and I'm the little pup, you hear me? So, I had a black and mild. I had got a black and mild and shit. And so we standing in line waiting to go in the field. And so I like the black and mild. And her cousin turned around to me and talk about something, boy, you know you don't smoke. I'm like, what? So he bust out laughing and all that. Ha ha ha, you wanna be real funny with this shit. So, like, you wanna be real funny with this shit, so it pissed me off, you hear me? So I'm like, cut all that shit. You dig, bitch, you ain't getting no more weed, bitch, give me my call, bitch, you dig? And so, from that there, went to going downhill, you hear me? So, since I ain't want him to take the car no more, I'm taking the car, but I still can't park it at my house, so I'm parking it down the street in these apartments, and it ended up getting towed, you hear me? So, lost the car, or whatever. So now, boom, like I said, time move along, you hear me? All kind of shit happening. So his brother, he started giving him weed now, cause he still got his little clientele or whatever. So his brother started giving them weed now and shit. And I guess somewhere inside him he knew that he had been fucked up. So he goes back to try and get on my good side. So now he coming to sleep over by my mama's house more and more now and shit like that. So we kind of get back cool, so now I start hanging with him in the east and shit like that, you hear me? And, we fucking with hoes together and all type of shit, you hear me? So, like, we built our little relationship back up. So, now, like I say, time moving along. So now about this time here, as I'm skipping past, I'm going to skip past through 9th grade and all that. And I'm because I don't want to go through that, because that'll be the time when I got popped with the weed and all that shit. So I'm skipping over all this right here, you hear me? I'm going to when I was like in about 10th grade. So like now I'm in 10th grade, you hear me? So now I'm moving along and I'm selling crack now, you hear me? Like I didn't moved up. So, I'm on another level now, you hear me? So I'm kind of hardly going to school. I'm on the block and shit like that. You dig? I done seen my partner get shot at and all kind of shit, so now I'm like, man, I gotta keep a gun, you hear me? So I get this 25 and I get this 380, you hear me? And Like I'm talking about, I'm bringing these bitches to school and everything like that. You hear me? Cause niggas getting robbed at school, all kind of shit. Niggas robbed at dice games and all kind of shit. You hear me? And skip over all that shit though too. So I'm gonna just skip up to the part to where he come and play about the guns. You hear me? So where I would keep the guns, under my mattress. You hear me? I keep them under my mattress. You dig? And my weed and money and shit, I had to cut a hole in the floor in my mama house in my closet. And one day I'll go over there and show y'all that, cause it's still left. You hear me? She was mad at me when she found out about that. But that's why I keep my weed and the money at and shit, and I keep the guns under my mattress. So it's a night he come over there, he sleeping by the house or whatever, and now, like I say, he a wannabe street nigga. So you know he ain't never had no guns and shit like this. So when I come inside, he in my room and he got a mattress on the floor. You did. He got the air mattress on the floor, and so I'm putting the guns under my mattress. You know, I just come inside from from playing the block, so I'm putting my guns under the mattress, and so he see him and he like, man, let me see. You hear me? So I'm like, alright, you dig? So I let him see both of the guns. So he's fucking with the guns or whatever. I shoot back out. I'm going to get something to eat or whatever like that. I go do that. I go do some other things. I think I had left out and went made a sale. I happened to, I forgot everything I did, but I know I happened to come home about 11 or 12 o'clock. And so when I come home, I tell him, because, I got to go to school in the morning and shit. So I tell him, you hear me, don't forget to put the guns up or whatever, you hear me? To put the guns back under the mattress, you did. So, when I'm going, because I'm going to West Jeff now, and you got to wake up early so you can get to the school bus and shit like that, you did. So it's about 5, 6 in the morning, you hear me? I get up, you dig. I ain't thinking about your guns, you hear me? Making sure this nigga put the guns back. In my mind, he older than me, so he got common sense to hide the guns, you hear me? No. That is not the damn story. I had to remember, but I wasn't thinking like that. You a wannabe street nigga, so you dig, you a flunk it, you hear me? So I go to school, I'm at school, I'm doing having me a great day or whatever like that. I come home, and when I come home, like, I know everybody know when y'all was young, when you walk in the house and you could feel it in the air like, I'm in trouble, something up, you hear me? So when I walk in the house, it's like I'm getting met by my mom and her husband. So I'm like, what the fuck going on here, you hear me? So I'm about to make my way upstairs, and can you come in the living room right fast or whatever? So I'm like, oh Lord, what the fuck, you hear me? So I go in there, I'm going towards the living room, and I look and I see the 2 guns sitting on the table. So I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, man, I gotta use the bathroom right fast, you hear me? You dig? I'm like, I gotta use the bathroom. I'm like, oh Lord, like, you dig? So I'm trying to go run upstairs right fast and try to come up with a story and try to figure out how I'm gonna explain these guns. When I'm walking back to go towards the upstairs, I see my daddy pulling up. I'm like, oh shit, you hear me? So I go in the bathroom and I'm trying to think of something and I can't think of shit. And that's when Jamel, could you come on downstairs or whatever like that? So I go back downstairs like, fuck it, let's face the music. Let's get it on. Get it over with, you hear me? So I go in there and they like, who these guns for? I'm like, man, son, so here I go. I'm trying to think, what could I do? Could I lie? Or just go ahead on and, you dig, take the lick and go with it, you hear me? So her husband, he busts out something, and don't try to tell me it's for Rashad because I already know it's not his or whatever like that. And so I'm like, where you got him from? You hear me? So he like, well, I went in your room and cause this how this nigga talk, you hear me? Talk like an old punk. So he like, I go in your room and Rashad had left the air mattress on the floor, so since that's my son, I said I'll pick it up. I didn't want to leave your room dirty, so I picked up the air mattress and there it was, 2 guns, you know. And since they were under the mattress he was sleeping on, I called Rashad and I asked him about it, and he said that's not his. They were yours. I'm like, Lord. So I'm like, dog, this nigga here got me busted and ain't even take the charge. Like, you hear me? Like, alright, cool, you dig? So you know in my head I'm like, this nigga cut off, you hear me? So my daddy, he come in that bitch. Daddy, you hear me? G'd up, so it down, you hear me? On the real, that's why I say, I don't give a fuck. Get loaded or whatever, that's my nigga, you hear me? Like, we really got a relationship of my nigga than my daddy, but you dig, whatever. My nigga, you hear me? He go ahead on and he take the lick from, you hear me? Like, man, daddy G'd up, so it's down, you dig? Take the lick, and he bust out, man, bro, how you get my guns, you hear me? So like, ooh, I almost busted both of us, cause I'm like, you dig, like, damn, I can't believe he did that. So I'm like, I just put my head down like I'm shamed, like, man, bro, I just wanted to see him or whatever. He like, so they like, oh, so Charles, these your guns or whatever? And he like, yeah, man, this goddamn, y'all, you go ahead or whatever. So I go upstairs, but you know, I stuck close by so I could hear, and you dig. He took the lick from me, you hear me? Like, you dig. So he take the guns or whatever like that, and so you know, the next day I go back and I get my guns back or whatever, you hear me? But I'm hot at this nigga, cause I'm like, you a wannabe street nigga, you hear me? So time move along, you dig, and what was the boom. Now this nigga here, he starting to get beside himself. My stepbrother, he starting to get beside himself. Now he feeling himself, cause you dig. He feel like he a real street nigga now, cause he, you know, he's selling weed. He involved with guns now, cause his brother, he got a chopper in the house, so he wanna hang with his brother now and shit like that. You hear me? And when he come around me, he wanna run with me now and shit like that. So his daddy start peeping this out. And so now this shit was funny as hell, you hear me? Like, his daddy said we couldn't hang no more after this shit. It was funny as hell. We hanging and we rocking, you hear me? So now we in the mall and nigga buying all kinds. This when the plaza still was open, you hear me? And his mama worked in the plaza. So like, we cutting up, we up in that bitch buying shit and all that shit. So this nigga daddy pop up at the fucking mall, at the plaza, you hear me? As we going out, he like, you dig, he out there waiting on us. Like, I don't know what this shit was about to this day. I don't know what this shit was about, but he waiting on us, you hear me? So you see a nigga with all these bags and all that, you hear me? So that boy look at me like, you dig, like I'm just a bad influence type nigga. I'm like, man, what the fuck? He like, I smell. So I'm like, you dig, what up, you hear me? So that when that boy, his son tried to walk past him, you dig? So he like, Rashad, get back here, you hear me? So he like, man, what you want, you hear me? He like, where did you get the money for all this and all that? Your mom tell me you selling weed? So I'm like, Lord, you hear me? I don't want to bust out laughing, but I'm like, man, son, like, you and the boys, son, you hear me? He like, your mom say you selling weed and all this? And he like, man, I ain't selling no weed. He like trying to laugh. He like, it's not funny or whatever. So he like, where'd you get the money then? You hear me? And so he just like, man, so he like, Shot, I'm not playing with you, man. I would kick your ass, you hear me? So dog, I can't help it. I'm laughing now. And so, you know, he trying to save face in front of me. So he trying, you know, so he kind of laughing and trying to brush it off or whatever. That ball hit that ball. Boop, boop. You hear me? So he like, man, you tripping, man. What you hit me for, man? You tripping, man? Oh, he like, I'm your dad, man. I kick your ass. You're not going to throw your life away selling fucking drugs and shit. Shamel, he does what he wants. But you're not, no. Get in the car, Rashad. So he like, man, I'm going by my mom. So I ain't going, man, I'm not coming by you no more, whatever. He like, get in the car, Rashad. And whatever, he like, I want to talk to you, get in the car or whatever. So he like, man, he you know, he tried to hold strong for as long as he could, but he couldn't. So shit, I go about my business, you hear me? And after that, you dig, like I say, he he like let it be known that he don't want us hanging together, you hear me? And so like I said, you dig? When you want to be a street nigga, dog, it's like it's best that you take the warnings and take the advice when people trying to tell you that ain't you. You hear me? Because it's Paul knew that wasn't him. You hear me? It wasn't him. So you dig? The next time I ended up seeing him when I was on the run from the police, and he was in St. Louis because he had went to the Coast Guard or whatever, and you know, I went out there. You know, like I said, the motherfucker trying to, like, nigga know you ain't that, man, just go ahead on and listen, you hear me? Cause like I said, it took him to do all that knucklehead shit, you hear me? Cause it got more to it, but you know, I don't want to hold y'all too long, you dig? But you know, it's signs, it's things that tell you that this ain't for you. Like when you left them guns under the mattress, you should have knew, you know what, this ain't for me. You ratted on a nigga, you heard me? You did a flunky move, got me popped. Like you fucked up my whole little thing. Even though my little nephew who first set the you know, the train off course, he the one threw me off track first. But you made it worse. Cause when my mama saw them guns, son, man, my mama went crazy. She like, what is you into that you need to have guns and 2 of them and all this, you heard me, like that. You did. And you know, but the story about when I got popped with the money and all that shit, man, I'll tell y'all about that another time, you hear me? Yeah, I'll tell y'all about that another time, but man, all that shit led up to my mama getting breast cancer and everything. I put my mama through a lot, going back and forth to jail and all that. But like I said, I'll tell y'all about that another time. But like I said, that was just a little bit about my stepbrother, the wannabe street nigga, you hear me? Man, listen, if it ain't for you, it ain't for you, dog. Don't, you dig? Be who you is, dog. If you know you a good boy, be a good boy, my nigga. Cause this shit ain't for everybody, son. It ain't for everybody. It really ain't for nobody, but it ain't for everybody, man. You hear me? I'm out, man. Coach.
Smoke me a nigga, they gon' feel my pain. Draco on the passenger side. Don't mind me, I'm tryna beat the odds. If I die today, I meet you in the sky. If you ain't make it up, hold my soul fried. Even after I die, still love to my guys. Even if we